All right. Hi, I'm Bill Murphy Jr. Welcome to understandably.com. I guess this will be on our YouTube channel. I am talking today with Marcia. Is it Maeda? Am I saying that correctly?
Marietta.
Okay, Maeda. And she is the head of, I believe, animal control for Los Angeles, the city of Los Angeles,
No, the
and
County of Los Angeles.
county of Los, even bigger, the county of Los Angeles.
We're
Not just,
different agencies.
oh, okay, okay. Um, anyway, she's also a reader at Understandably, and this is just kind of a funny thing. Last week, I had included in the 7 other things section of the newsletter a link to a story about Los Angeles giving a permit to have a unicorn at your house to a 7-year-old girl who had written in asking about it. And honestly, it was one of the most popular things that I put in the newsletter that week. And I had no idea that one of my readers was actually the person in charge of it who'd made the whole thing happen. So she reached out and I said, "Oh, we got to interview you." So Marcia, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
So let's make sure we got it right. I butchered your title already. You're with Los Angeles County, and what's your job title, and what do you do, and how did you get the job?
I'm the Director of Animal Care and Control for Los Angeles County Animal Care and Control. I got this job 21 and a half years ago. I've been in animal welfare my whole life for about 35 years. Always worked at humane societies or SPCAs before this. And I was recruited for this job, and it's just been a dream job, and I love every minute of it.
That's great. So overall, what does the agency do, and what do you do on days when you're not granting unicorn licenses?
Well, we are the largest animal care and control agency in the country. We serve about 3 million people. We operate 7 animal care centers. We serve all unincorporated Los Angeles County, which there's a lot of unincorporated land, and we serve 45 cities that contract with us for animal care and control services. So we are the officers that go out and pick up stray animals, investigate animal cruelty, protect people from dangerous animals. You might have seen that we have a lot of wildfires here in Southern California. We are often on the front lines with fire and sheriff. We're pulling the animals out and providing temporary care for them and temporary sheltering. We license animals. And of course, the animal shelters that we operate, we provide food and care, medical care, behavior evaluation, adoption programs, foster programs, volunteer opportunities, and just other ways to help people and animals.
Got it. And I live in New Jersey. I would say if you'd talk about wild animals, it'd be deer, it'd be squirrels, it'd be the occasional. I'm trying to think what else we have here. I'm curious, in Los Angeles, what are the things that are local there that maybe people who don't live in Los Angeles would be surprised to think, oh, we have a lot of X that we have to deal with in animal control?
Probably coyotes are the biggest ones. They're everywhere. And LA County has a lot of mountains, a lot of rural areas, and coyotes are so adaptable to city living as well. They can follow the water channels and get down into neighborhoods. And of course, they prey on cats and small dogs. So that's one. We just lost P22, which is a beloved cougar that lived in Griffith Park for, I think, about 13 years. Finally got very old and debilitated, and he had to be put to sleep. He couldn't be saved. Usually the California Fish and Wildlife get involved with the cougars. We have bears that come down from the mountains. And of course, raccoons, opossums, skunks, things like that.
Okay. All right, let's talk unicorns. Why don't you tell us a story? I understand a little girl sent a letter and set up a chain of events. So why don't you tell us what happened?
Right. Yeah, Madeline, who's adorable, she sent us a letter like right before Thanksgiving asking for our permission if she could have a unicorn in her backyard if she could find one. So we got that letter at my office, and we were just all so touched by it. It was so sweet. And, of course you can have a unicorn. So we started thinking about how we would respond to her. We always respond to kids, regardless of why they're writing. But in this case, this was really special. We wanted to have some fun with it. And my secretary got really excited, Rosemary. She put together the pre-approved unicorn license, and she purchased the little stuffed animal unicorn. The animal care center manager, Fred Agupi, who runs our Castaic Animal Care Center, made the little metal tag to put on it. And I wrote the letter. And we,
Well, I'm just going to interrupt and say we'll drop in some of these photos and whatnot, but you did an event, right? You sent her a letter with all the regulations, and then you did an event and brought her in.
what happened is we wanted to bring the letter and the stuffed animal and the license to her. We called her mom, and her mom said, Madeline loves animals so much. It would be more impactful and fun for her if I could bring her to the animal care center where she could have a tour and then you could present it there. And we so fine. And then she said, her birthday's coming up. It would be great if we could do this on her 7th birthday, which was just this past Friday.
Okay.
So before her birthday, when we first started talking with her mom, they didn't want her picture out. They didn't want her name out, for all the reasons parents protect their kids, which we totally understood. So we just released the information on social media because we had so much fun with it. We thought people would get a kick out of it.
You blocked out her name and whatnot at that point.
Right. Yeah. Took out her name. And it just went absolutely viral around the world. And we were just getting media calls from everywhere. And, her mother and father are wonderful. I was keeping them updated, and they were just so surprised and happy that the story had brought happiness to so many people. So as we started, time started going, they said, well, we think it's okay for her to be interviewed. We could show her picture, still don't want her last name used. So that's why when we had the event on Friday, we were able to get some video and photos of the presentation, and we got to meet Madeline and her family.
Yeah, that's cute. And you were saying before that you got a lot of, before we went live here, that you get letters from kids, but often it's maybe a school project or something. And this seemed just be sincere, right? A 7-year-old saying, if I can get a unicorn.
Yeah. I think that's what it was. It was her sincerity. When we get other letters from kids, you can tell lots of times it's a school assignment that they've been instructed to write a letter to a person in authority that might have something to do with it, something they're interested in. So I'm really glad they pick animals. Obviously they love animals. They want to do something about animals. So we always answer them. Usually I want to see more animals adopted or something along those lines. But this was just so pure and innocent. And it was her own initiative to do it. I talked to her mom, and her mom was, they don't have pet. Well, they have a hamster. They have some little pets, but
Madeline, ask for a puppy, right? If you can ask for a unicorn.
Yeah, right. Well, she can't have a dog or a cat. Her parents said, we're not, that's not going to fit us right now. So she said, okay, fine, then I'm going to get a unicorn and keep it in the backyard. So she made that decision. And her mom said, well, I think you might need permission to have a unicorn. So Madeline said, okay. And she walked off and came back, and she had written a letter, and she said, will you help me mail this? So her mom said, okay, well, let's see who we mail it to. And they went online and realized we were the licensing authority for that, and they sent us a letter. So this was all Madeline's initiative and determination. And in meeting her and hearing what she knows about unicorns, I was really impressed. She has done a lot of research.
Got it. And you said the whole thing went viral. That's how I forget even what the link was that I shared, but it wasn't a tiny, it was People Magazine or something like that.
Right.
Up on it. So talk a little bit about that. I mean, I don't know how big your office is normally, if the phone's ringing off the hook and your email's all filled up with people reaching out. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it really was. I was getting so many wonderful emails and social media comments from people saying how this made their day, that made them cry. It made their hearts sing. It restored their faith in local government. They appreciated the leadership that we showed in responding to Madeline and handling it how we did. And people started sending gifts for Madeline. The company that makes the little stuffed animal that we got her sent their giant version of it. It's almost as big as she is.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, people sent books about unicorns, stickers. A really nice lady made a fleece blanket with unicorns on it. So when Madeline came out on Friday, we had all those gifts for her as well. So it was a really great birthday for her.
That's interesting. That's great. So, I love the fact, as I said, that you're a reader, that I had no idea you were connected to this. And as I was saying to you before we went on, in terms of readers, often all I see is an email address. Mm-hmm. And because it actually requires a lot of work and I got a lot going on, to even go in sometimes and see, redfish92
Right.
gmail.com, opens it all the time. That actually takes me a few steps to do, so I don't even really get to do it that much. But I'm always amazed, just to talk about the newsletter a little bit, that this thing that I started in this same attic here with no readers now has 170,000. And what's more interesting is when things like this happen, because it's not really the first time. It's probably the first time I've written about a story like this and realized the actual main character or one of the main characters was in it. But I was thinking of two of them. One where I wrote about a study suggesting that the color blue is actually a fairly recent construct in human development. And part of the evidence for that supposedly was that it doesn't appear in the Bible except for a couple of places. Well, I read that, and sure enough, I've got 5 PhD biblical scholars who are able to read it and respond and say, oh yeah, here. And I'm thinking of another one I did where I came across a diary of a Civil War prisoner of war. And he's just so wry and funny in the way he writes about things. Also, he's from Rhode Island, where I was from, 150 years before me. And I wrote about that, and I put a line in it saying, I can't find what happened to him afterward. Well, sure enough, there are like 3, hardcore amateur genealogists who track down everything about him. So it's, I always talk about trying to leverage this community and build it a little bit more so that everybody else can see what I always see, which is just how interesting the readers are. So, thank you for being a reader, but also thank you for recognizing this and saying, "Oh yeah, it's me," and then being willing to do the talk. It's very gratifying for me.
Oh, my pleasure. I read your blog every morning, and when Monday morning came around, I was like, I wonder if I should email Bill about the story. It might be something interesting he would like, because it was hitting that weekend. And then I pulled up your blog and our story was in there. So I was so thrilled. So I had to comment on it. I'm glad we connected.
Of course. And let me just ask you if a lot of times if people have a viral hit like this, especially if they didn't really think it would be, they don't know. Sometimes they're scrambling to think, all right, well, now that I have this attention, what's the message or what's the thing that I'm going to try and drive home? Did you guys do that at all? I probably should have asked you before we went on here so I don't put you on the spot. So is there anything you tried to work in all the messaging?
Right. That's a great question. And what we learned from this is how people really want to hear happy stories. They want to hear innocence and joy and have that in their life, especially so many people said, especially now with all the negativity in the world, that this just really made them so happy. And I mean, it just got shared everywhere. So what we did also to honor Madeline and to give people an opportunity to be part of this kind of event is we have a nonprofit supporting foundation that supports my department. It's called the Los Angeles County Animal Care Foundation. And they raise money to help the animals and programming at our animal care centers. So the foundation created Madeline's Magical Unicorn Fund. So for a minimum gift of $25, people can get their own unicorn license and tag. And, we're getting a lot of requests for that. It's really popular. I think people like that it supports our mission and
Sure.
The way we engage with the public. And of course, it's going to a very good cause. And I think, if you're having a bad day and, you had a fight with your boss or, somebody at the home and you're just kind of blue, take a look at your unicorn license and just get some joy out of that. And, think back on the happy stories and feelings that this created.
There you go. And you're in LA. So I feel like this is a children's book or a movie or something waiting to have.
Maybe.
I don't know if anybody's optioned the rights yet, but I'm sure there's some junior associate producer somewhere trying to convince his or her boss we should grab it.
It'd be a great story.
Yeah. Okay, Marcia, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. And thank you, everybody, for watching this and for reading Understandably. Go to understandably.com. I'll put the links in here, too. But if you go to understandably.com, you'll see the story I'm going to write up about this. And I'll include the links to the Madeline's Magical Unicorn Fund in there as well, too. So
thank you.
Thanks very much.